Hello and welcome to Spirit Talk episode 11. In this episode we go to Lorain, Ohio on the east side, Eastlawn Avenue. A friend of mine, really a very dear friend of mine from childhood, my teenage years, he's been watching the videos and he asked for his sister if we can come out and conduct an investigation. Very unfortunately, Donna's real mother passed away suddenly a few months ago, and they were clearing out the apartment, and it's a duplex style home, and thought I think Donna really wanted to see if her mom would come through. Now, compared to some of our other investigations, this one was a little bit different as far as what we received. Now, Randy conducted the interview with Donna, but again, as in past investigation, about 2 days prior, Randy started getting some impressions about the interview. So why don't you talk to us or tell us what you were saying, and then kind of lead us through the interview with Donna, and how, again, it's so amazing how many things were like matching up.
Past episodes, we didn't get as much on this one. I didn't quite see things like I did in previous investigations, but I did keep getting a few things. I felt like there was a female presence and that she had not lived there very long. When we got there and confirmed that, it was true. She'd only lived there a few months. But I felt like she could have lived longer. Possibly something with her religion kept her from wanting to seek too much help, or it just felt like there was a strange faith or belief there. I felt like she was somewhat of a stern woman, kind of set in her ways, somewhat verbal about what she wanted to do in life and what she expected of people. So when we arrived, we actually do an interview with the clients, and it turned out that there was a strange, somewhat, not always people believe a strange religion, but she was Jehovah's Witness, and to the best of my knowledge, not being that familiar with that religion, they don't accept blood transfusions and things like that. Unfortunately, I just got the feeling that she could have lived longer. During the interview process, there was also, during asking questions, there were pauses with Donna, and her answers seemed a little hard to answer. And during that, I actually felt the presence of a female, almost like guarding her or trying to help her speak. So I mentioned that to Donna, and she kind of smiled and said, yeah, that was kind of how Mom was, that she would try to help me talk or try to answer things for me. So I found that to be pretty interesting. But there was definitely a presence that she was there, and Donna did say that she felt as though her mom was there too, that because of her passing suddenly, that she probably felt like Donna wasn't ready to let go or something to that effect. But I didn't feel at all like there was anything bad there.
Yeah, I didn't either, except for with all investigations, we do a walkthrough. First thing, we do a basic sweep using the EMF detector to see if there's any, to get a baseline on the electromagnetic fields. Very low EMF in this home, virtually nothing. And each room, I felt nothing that I thought was strange. I did not get any strong impressions either way of whether there could be a spirit there or not until the garage. Opening up that door to that garage was like walking into a wall. I can't even describe it, but walking into a wall of a completely different world. I mean, the impression in that garage when you walked in, the mood changed instantly as you walked through that door. And I came back in from there, and Randy was still kind of finishing up his interview at the point, but I told the rest of the team members, go out to the garage and give me your impression. And it's kind of amazing.
It was definitely a different feeling from the entire house. The property was a rental, so there was really not much history that we could dig up or investigate. It's owned by a corporation, and You know, that's all a part of privacy, so we weren't allowed to really get too much information. But all of us, when we went into that garage, felt a complete change of feeling. It felt as though there was a heavy feeling, almost like pressure, like someone was just sitting on your chest. And it wasn't at all a demonic or
Right.
bad feeling. It was more like sadness. Like there might have been, every one of us had the same feeling, that we felt as though there might have been a suicide or suicide intentions.
And Tucker actually was filming us as we were getting those impressions, and we're going to play that for you now.
Mine feels like it's just heavy. It's like it's weighting, like weight on me, like pushing down on my upper chest and stomach. Like it's
Feels angry and heavy at all.
almost like it just wants to just curl up and die.
You think
Like-
it's suicide?
It feels like that to me. It feels like it's just depressed and down and just doesn't want to be here.
Point it on.
But I'm having a hard time breathing, and my stomach.
I
I can't breathe very well.
That's awesome.
I know. I feel it. Doesn't it feel pressure, like
Yeah. It's not
like
just
pushing in on
humidity.
your lungs, like
Let me go inside here.
Like almost underneath your lungs. And the lungs are-
yeah, like it's pushing up pressure, like.
Now, here's what I told Dave. And we were seeing movement back here by the back corner where I've got the camera pointed down. The back corner, back behind the car. And I
Oh, I am. Hang on. Did you get anything?
didn't get any movement at that point.
To me, it was like a black wisp.
Yeah, that's what I was seeing before.
Like it's coming up from behind the car and just kind of shooting up towards the corner.
And I wondered if there was a suicide in here from, carbon monoxide out of the tailpipe. It'd be interesting to investigate that. And that's what I said to Dave. And if you're picking up on suicide, that might...
Well, it feels like depression. It feels like heavy depression and the feeling of not worthy or, not wanting to be here. Like the feeling of giving up.
What are you sensing, Megan?
I guess the best word I can think of is just kind of like defeat. I feel very defeated in here. I feel very resigned in here.
Yeah, it's not. I don't feel like it's evil, demonic. I don't
No,
feel
no,
that way.
no.
I feel like it's just,
I felt heaviness.
yeah,
Yeah.
grief and despair. And just the feeling of giving up.
The worst emotion is over here now, back by the rear tire on the left.
Isn't it almost as if there was, I don't know, vapor or something moving?
Yeah, like smoke almost,
Yeah.
or steam. But it moves with a purpose. It doesn't like just float.
Now, interesting, as you saw in the video, unfortunately, I didn't see it. I stepped out as they continued to get their impressions out of the garage. But you saw it, Megan saw it, and Gary Jones saw it. Unfortunately, Tucker was not able to get it on camera. What did it look like?
It was almost like you could see in the distance a dark haze hanging, and I think Gary described it as if there was smoke in the room. You could almost see it moving in the distance. Now there was just a slight bit of light coming through from each side of the garage door, and you could see it across the entire garage door from side to side. So it was definitely almost as if the heavy, depressed feeling was lingering. It was almost like it was just hanging right there with us.
I wish I could have been there to see that. Unfortunately, of course, it would happen when I stepped out. But you guys did get some pretty good, or Megan did, and Gary and them got some pretty good EVPs. Now the one thing that I don't know if you found as surprising as I did, again in Shalersville, we had very strong, powerful EVPs, and in this session, we will overlay the words. Now again, keep in mind we have a new camera, and the parabolic mic, or it's a microphone that's directional on this camera, and it does film in the dark. But unfortunately, because of the angle with the laptop up, the camera's focusing more on Megan as she's asking the questions, and the sound actually from the laptop coming up was a little bit, and from the radio harder for the camera to pick up. But they weren't as strong as our past investigations, but they're there, and we're going to play those for you now. We did, again, overlay the words, and some of the EVPs actually kind of made some sense as far as what you guys were sensing, as well as you know, some of the things as far as there's one EVP in there when Gary asked, why are you still here? And this one is really kind of hard to hear, but I'm paraphrasing here, but it's I'm here for the family, or I'm here because of the family, and perhaps that is a message to Donna, but we're going to play those for you now.
So I'm going to start. Is there anyone here with us right now? Can you tell me if anyone was hurt in this room? Tell me if anyone was hurt in this room.
Why are you still here?
Is that you we keep seeing moving in the dark? Is that you we keep seeing moving in the dark?
Now, again, this is one of those investigations where we didn't have a whole lot of EVPs, but some of them were pretty strong as far as understandable. And ironically, a little bit different, a little bit more on the flip side from our previous investigations that we had done with the radio scan method. Some of the best EVPs we got were just simply by recording and then amplifying the sound. Megan did an isolation session where she went into one of the bedrooms by herself with the recorder and attempted to reach out to get communication. And she had two pretty strong EVPs, which we're going to play now for.
Can you tell me if you're maybe feeling more comfortable with us being here? Was that you in here who just drained my batteries? Was that you in here who just drained my batteries?
Okay, also, while Randy was not doing a EVP session, but when you were doing your walkthrough, was it Megan's? I believe it was Megan's recorder that was on because she was around you.
Right.
Randy was talking about the closet, because one of the things Randy had in the 2 days prior was a very visual impression of something, and I'll have them him share that with you now, because it really kind of ties in with this EVP that we're going to play for you next. That, again, it wasn't a direct response. It wasn't even as if you were asking any questions. You were simply talking to Tucker and to Megan. But in the background, in the pause, there's an EVP that correlates a lot to what you were saying. So why don't you talk about that now?
Okay. As you remember in some of our past investigations, the visions and things that I've seen in my head before we get to the site can be slightly different from what we're actually going for. I think that's because of different spirits and different feelings that may have been there prior to the current residents, or things that might have happened in the past. This particular property, I did have one that really didn't seem to correlate with what we were going there for, but nonetheless it probably was a spirit or something that was letting me know what had happened. I was seeing a young man, probably in his 20s, couldn't really see a face, but kind of just had the feeling that he was running from something. Either, someone was chasing him, and it was a pretty strong feeling of terror. The impression I got was this young man running through the house, through a hallway, or it could have been a stairway, but although this property didn't have stairs, it was where he was running through this hallway, and he makes a left into a bedroom, and then another left into the closet. And when I did my walkthrough, the master bedroom was to the left, and as soon as you went into the door, the closet was on the left. When I walked in, I immediately recognized the closet as being what I had seen in my vision. This young man was running from something, and I think his thought was there was no exit in the back of this building. The only thing he could do was try to run into this closet. Unfortunately, whoever was chasing after him was close enough behind him that he wasn't going to be able to get away. In the EVP session that Megan was doing in that room, I was actually describing to her what I was seeing. I was talking about the space in the closet. Behind where the door was to the closet, there was an actual space. In my head, I saw that space, and I saw this young man go down onto the floor, turning sideways and actually protecting himself from something.
But it was definitely a space like this. But it was definitely a space like this.
I think you can tell from listening to that EVP that it did sound a bit desperate, and that is pretty much the feeling I had. I did feel like that possibly that was the voice of the spirit asking us to help, because evidently there was a situation that he needed help, or felt like he needed help. After that, we didn't really get a whole lot more, so we asked Donna's feelings about doing a crossover ceremony, and she felt as though that was going to be okay with her. So we did do one. We have our third co-founder, Gary, is a minister, and he brings a lot of spiritual feeling to our team. We feel very confident when he's with us, and he does a great job when we do a crossover ceremony. So we did do this crossover, and it was amazing the feeling that I had afterwards. There was such an enlightenment, a feeling that the room had just lifted and felt more free. I did also get the feeling that Donna's mother did not go, and that she left too soon, and that she passed abruptly, and I think she's nervous to leave her daughter alone. So I think she might be going to hang out for a little while and just watch over Donna, and hopefully when Donna feels safe and her mother feels safe that she's okay, she'll have an opportunity to pass over.
Yeah, we do believe that all spirits, at the moment of returning to our true form, the spirit form, and that light opens, we do believe that spirits should go into that light. However, that being said, we also, and maybe that's where we're different, and I know we're different than a lot of groups out there, we don't feel that it is our place to chase the spirits into the light or demand that they go into the light. We've talked about this before amongst ourselves, that it's an incredible that we still have free will at the moment of death. And if a spirit feels that it wants to stay behind and God doesn't force them or pull them into the light, then that's that spirit's choice. Is it a bad thing? I don't think so. Eventually, all of us are going to return to that light. I think as long as she doesn't hang around too long, that is her choice. It should be said, though, that being said, sometimes earthbound spirits that do hang around their loved ones can cause health issues to the loved ones, unbeknownst to them or not intending to, because spirits need energy to sustain, and they can draw that out of physical beings such as ourselves. So sometimes, and it's been well documented in many hauntings, that it can have a physical effect on those that are exposed to a lot of spiritual energy around them. That being said, hopefully, Donna's mom will return to light soon. But at this point, I don't feel it's our place to push it.
No, and I believe that Donna understands, and I don't think Donna feels that her mother should hang around forever. I think when the time is right, and Donna feels that it's time, and her mother will know.
We'll know that and seek out the light. So this investigation, while not an extraordinary amount of EVPs, we did get some EVPs that were pretty clear.
It was a heartfelt type investigation too. It felt good. Donna understood what was going on, and I think the spirit of her mother is very loving. So I think it was overall a very good investigation, and I do think that the spirit of the young man possibly passed over, and that might have been the help he was
I
asking
sure hope
for.
so. That it sounded. You could feel it again in the garage, and you could feel that sadness. So
The impression I got of the young man too was of fear. So he probably needs to be at rest and go.
that being said, we have some really exciting investigations on the books. We have a home out in New London area that will be our first overnight investigation. Randy's going to get his RV all set up, and we're going to make base camp outside, and I can't wait to do that investigation. We also have 2 other possibilities on the books that we're just trying to work around our schedule and our team members' schedules to be able to fit those in. But in the meantime, as always, we thank you for watching Spirit Talk. And again, please, if you or someone may be experiencing a haunting and not sure what's going on at your home, and you would like us to do an investigation, give us a holler at email evpmedium@gmail.com. Send us a note again on evpmedium@gmail.com. So until the next time, thanks for watching Spirit Talk.